Greetings one and all. My name is Elenu Ra and I'm here today to share with you a few thoughts. First of all, I'd like to welcome you to this podcast. It has been a while. It's been an incredible summer for me. I have been experiencing my own rebirth, and in the process of doing so, I have disconnected with a lot of things. I disconnected with or detached from Facebook for a while, of which I shall be doing again soon in the next week or so. And it's been a very important part of the process of unplugging, so as I can come home to myself and actually be as fully present as possible for this birthing or this rebirthing that's affecting all of us. And all of us are at different stages of rebirth as we move through, as we continue to be interfaced with duality, as many things that we thought had been dealt with are coming up to be cleared. And it's also an opportunity here for all of us to deal with our story and our experiences in a different way. It's very clear to me that as we go through our own rebirthing and move into oneness, that there's more of a clarity as we expand into this vastness. It's far less dense. We feel that there's a greater space between our story, the dramas, what's going on in the world, and our point of reference. And this is very beautiful and also very encouraging. And I'd like to share that with you. For those of you who are already there, you understand what I'm talking about. And for those of you, and for those of you who are venturing deeper, there's a lot to look forward to. There are many people who are still running away from self, and a lot of people who have not quite gotten to a place where they're allowing themselves to move through the gateway of the heart. And it is difficult because many people have avoided going to that place or sitting in that place. And therefore, at this stage, there's a lot of emotions that are coming out and being expressed. And it's important to remember that extreme emotions, as I call extreme emotions, because they tend to be the last result, is like anger, are often symptoms of deeper emotional experiences like resentment, isolation, unforgiveness, separation, just a variety of different things that have been left in the body and in the heart and soul to fester. So this is really an opportunity for us to now sit with those and actually recognize that they're not who we are, and now it's time for us to release them. And it is really time to come home, and I really encourage you to go to that place, to come home and to do whatever you need to do to release yourself from aspects of the story that are still linking you or hooking you, should I say, into duality, because it's a form of resistance. It's a form of it's kind of, when you think about it, it's what we've been doing for so long now, and change is very tough at times, particularly seeing as you may be losing an aspect of yourself that you believe is who you are, a sense of your identity. And it can be really difficult to step into the unknown and to step into that part of you that you haven't given presence. It's a presence. It's your ancestral self. It's a timeless self. It's a primal self. It's a self that is required to be fully anchored in this body, in this human body. We are here to anchor the divine within our humanity and to acknowledge the divine within our humanity. For aeons gone by, there has been a default condition called the human condition, where we're all playing out certain defaults. And a default is a limit, it's a cap. And we're in a place now where that cap is coming off. So we have to expand into our fullness, expand out of duality into this oneness. So in terms of the human condition, whereby we have surrendered our power to ideas, to models of the world, to aspects of society, culture, tradition, religion, all these things, and believed that there isn't anything we can do. That's men for you, that's women for you, that's life. Well, if we believe that to be true, then we are truly in a hopeless situation, and we are only identified to the ego aspect of who we are, our body and our mind. And there are so many people who are not making it, who are really struggling, who are going through some very difficult times because they truly believe they are just that, the body and the mind. And when, how can I put it, when your mind has nowhere else to go, and your body, in terms of the physical and the material attainment of satisfying the body and the mind, brings more and more distress and confusion and distraction and destruction, then we end up being in a place of apathy and despair. And this is the area of the human condition now that it's so required for us to expand out of that. I also want to mention that there are many things that are happening in the cosmos. The sun is going through an accelerated stage at the moment. It happens about every 11 years, though there's the possibility here that the poles of the sun may flip, and the solar flares are really affecting our moods and affecting us vibrationally. We are actually downloading a lot of light information, as well as the fact that we are still interfacing with the central sun of the galaxy. So a lot of light information and cosmic rays are being bathed. We are being bathed in these rays, and they are affecting us, and they are making us a lot more sensitive. And sensitivity is a really important thing, and that's where a lot of people are reacting and having quite struggling with emotional issues or emotional feelings and emotions that are coming through. And it's important to remember that that is part of being human, and feelings and emotions make us feel alive. It is our vitality, it is the fire within that we need to carry forth. In regard to this information and this light that's coming through, it's really important to remember that that resistance just holds you in that story furthermore. And the more we open and the more we surrender, we fall into the heart, and we go into a place of surrender. And when that happens, our hearts open and grace comes through. Communication, being able to share this, or at least begin with accepting yourself just as you are, no matter what you're going through, is so important. And that way you're able to normalize and humanize every human experience, particularly what we're going through now, and be able to share it in such a way where other people are moved by that and are also given permission to go through the same thing. In other words, to come home to yourself, to oneself. This is our awakening, it truly is. And this is how collectively we're going to be able to evolve. And I believe evolution is another word for ascending or transcending mortal confines. Our human sensitivity is something that's really being called on at this time. Our ability to respond using this miraculous body, mind, soul, this incredible human template that we've incarnated in, with the most amazing possibilities to transmute, to transcend, where we can call upon all of the various archetypes that exist within us, all the aspects of self, where we can anchor our divinity, our spirituality in our body. It is important to remember that our human design, our human template, the mind, body, emotional body and spirit is designed in such a way that it gives us all that we need to unfold. Many people have spoken about the spontaneous igniting or awakening of aspects of our dormant DNA and our brains, and a variety of different things at this stage. And all that we need, we already have. It's just that our understanding of who we are as human beings has been so limited in a way to keep us in bondage and to keep us in a place whereby we can be controlled or fed as consumers, and whereby everything is measured and freedom isn't truly found. When you think about physics and metaphysics, how everything is reflected from a nano to a macro, and if you break things down small enough, you actually realize that there is no matter, that actually you can pass through once you're able to see small enough. When you're actually able to look into a microscope and to look at an atom, you actually realize that the field of density isn't as dense as we make out, as it's made out to be. So therefore our instrument is finely attuned to tap into various vibrations and dimensional states. We are a sensitive instrument, and sensitivity is often something within human beings that is frowned upon, particularly amongst the male of our species. You're not supposed to express sensitivity. Yet sensitivity, if you refer to sensitivity as a piece of equipment that is highly calibrated to pick up a certain frequency or vibration, that is exactly who we are. So by stepping out of the limits of our mind, and by stepping out of our mortal confines in the physical and the material world paradigm, where we find dualistic thoughts and ideas that create separation and limitation. So we have polar aspects of reality, but yet the majority or everything exists not just at the polar aspects, but the whole spectrum, which is like a rainbow, if you like. So you have black and white, and then you have the whole spectrum. And it's all these colors that we are missing, and we're not even symbolically or in real terms allowing that spectrum of light to permeate our being and to affect us in a way where we are able to grow and ascend and really come home to the fullness of who we are as new humans, universal souls. So we're connected with the cosmos, with the heavens, and with earth, and us, and then we serve as the conduit. All our bodies are the same. We are all the same. You take away our gender, you take away our roles, you take away our race, our colour, everything, and actually we're all the same. We all have the same instrument. And if you see yourself as an instrument that's highly calibrated to pick up frequency, just like an instrument that's created to tap into a field of some sort or a frequency of some sort, highly attuned instrument, that is what we are, and that is our sensitivity. So we are able to tap into aspects of our environment that have been left thus far beyond our comprehension because we're so caught up in the mesh of duality and third density. So by design, we are designed to tap into other fields, other dimensions, and this is what we are now expanding into. We are expanding into our vaster selves. So allow that sensitivity, allow the information, allow your body to communicate with you in ways that it hasn't communicated with you. It will tell you what feels good. It will allow you to explore aspects of self, including your emotional body. These are all parts of your being. You have the physical, and you have the emotional, and then you have your electrical body, you have your biological body, and you have your mechanical body, and then you have your etheric body. All these various aspects that interface and affect each other. The chakras, when they're out of balance, affect your auric field. All these parts of us are there. We don't actually need to go into a mind to understand them. We just need to be still enough and to unplug from denser energies, and we automatically begin to expand into that. It's an alchemical process. So allow yourself to be sensitive. Allow yourself to feel your environment, particularly nature. Nature reflects who we are. The cosmos reflects who we are, as above, so below. The solar system is a reflection of our galaxy, and our galaxy is a reflection of the universe, and we are a reflection of our own solar system, with our sun being in the solar plexus. So when our solar system is affected by the central sun of the galaxy, we are also affected by that. Just the same way that all the other planets are going through the transformation in our solar system. So all is well, all has been revealed to us, and all has been written, and this is the time, here now. So expand into that trust, have the courage to trust that everything is in divine order, and there are amazing, miraculous things that are happening here as we metamorphose from the caterpillar stage, from our adolescence, humanity's adolescence, into adulthood, and we break out of our cocoon and spread our wings and actually realize that we are far vaster, and that the story that we have left behind was just a precursor to our new beginning and the new world and our new expanded selves. So yes, here we are, transmuting, healing, growing, sharing. And as we move through these areas now of duality, and we come home, we find ourselves in a completely different space. We end up being in a place of mindlessness. And I found myself going through a lot of, having a lot of experiences whereby my mind was just shutting down. And clearly this was meant to happen. And I went into times where I was just staring into space, or just daydreaming, having out-of-body experiences, just a variety of different things, phenomena as I call it, and just observing that. And it's now opening me up to a whole new time, a whole new period in my life, and a whole new period of stepping into a different dimension, and not necessarily leaving this dimension, but expanding from third density or third dimensional space reality into others. And this actually expands our consciousness, whereby we're able to live far more fully. And this is the evolution of this planet. This is the evolution of our species, whereby we are able to expand into the golden age. And we're still very much in the early stages of that. So it's important to remember that everyone needs to follow their own directive. But before you can even hear your own directive, you need to get out of the way. And when that call comes, metaphorically, you have to listen and go and do what you need to do. And I understand for some people it's very difficult because you're still caught up, still in jobs or in relationships or things like that. But if those jobs and relationships are not serving you, perhaps it's time for you to take some time out for yourself and to find a relationship or a job that's really going to bring passion and life and expansion into your world. Meanwhile, this is going to continue to happen. And I ask you to come and sit in your own hearts, to embrace all of you, your deepest sensitivity. Allow yourself to come home to you. This is our homecoming. And this is how we will be able to walk hand in hand forward in the future and step up out of apathy, out of, trust, courage. There are so many different types of virtues: nobility, honor, truth, integrity. All these things are within each and every one of us. And it's incredibly important now that we start stepping up to the next level, of our growth and expansion and our collective evolution, to take stock, to have the ability to respond to our own call and to the world at large. Change begins within you, and change begins within me. There's nothing to be found outside of you. Everything is a reflection. Everything is a reflection, a holographic projection. And as we recognize, as the illusions now in the world and delusional aspects of reality are their cover is being blown, and we're actually beginning to see things as they are. There are two ways of dealing with this. One is getting upset and getting angry and projecting and feeling hard done by, And the other way is to wake up and to come home to self. And many people have realized this for a while, but now it's time to come home to self. There have been many people who've also been talking about meditating or not meditating, but I'm a spiritual being, but we're human beings. And we contracted to be here at this time to see the passing, to witness, not just to witness, but to actually go through this process of evolution and transcending these mortal confines. We contracted to be here, and what an incredible thing it is for the human soul and for our human spirit and for the spirit beings that we all are. We contracted to be here to experience this. And just remember that behind these eyes, who's looking at you from behind these eyes, is the same person that is looking from behind your eyes. In other words, I'm a human being, you're a human being. The human template of the variety of aspects of emotions and mental thoughts, we all have them. Not at the same time, perhaps. Sometimes that happens. That's called a rapture of sorts. But we're all collectively having a human experience, and we're all collectively transmuting and expanding the old human story. It's falling away, and we're all experiencing this falling away of the old human story and the old human condition, the default human condition. And this collective human experience we're having is what is going to connect us all. Enough of what it is that's different about each and every one of us. Let's look at what we all have in common. In common. Compassion. Compassion. A passion that is common within each and every one of us. It's time now for us to realize that we are one being, and we're all experiencing the same kind of things. What affects one affects all for one and one for all. But first of all, it begins with you. It always begins with you. We have to do the work first. I leave this with you. Remember that all this light energy, all these light frequencies that are coming through are here to anchor light into our bodies, into our minds, into our hearts. And it's also here to lift us up, so to lighten up as in brightness, and to lighten up as in not taking things too seriously, because it is an illusion, it's not who we are. I wish you well on your journey. My name is Elena Ra. There's something amazing that's entering all of our lives and all of our hearts. It's a communion, a divine communion, a divine remembrance. Remember this. Open up fully. It's a choice that we all make. And I believe that on a deep soul level, we all know this to be true, and it's time for us to step up to this call, the call of our hearts, the call of our soul evolution, the call of our cosmic evolution. Change is the only constant thing. The only thing that remains the same is love. And I leave that with you. Namaste. Have courage, my friends. Have courage. Allow the wisdom to come through. Hear the call and respond. I love you. I see you. I see the God in you. I see the beautiful human being within you that is about to expand into its fullness, its trueness, its lightness, its compassion. Namaste. All is well. Perfect and